everyone again. Welcome to this session. And today we are going to talk about a day in the life of an internal medicine resident. I mean, a day in the life of any physician is going to be an interesting. But starting off as a journey an internal medicine resident, how would it look like? What are the expectations in terms of schedules? That is basically what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. I have some three fundamental key elements, not just for residency, but also in terms of your whole career, in medicine. As a physician, it's also important because we always think about clinical experience because that's our career, right? That's our job. But also, as we go along, we'll find ourselves always up to something. Either we are looking for a case report or a research, something to put on our resume, right? So that goes basically with didactics, research, and future goals. And in between everything, we all have a personal life, as we all agree. So that's the work-life balance. Basically, these three elements is what defines our, I would say, any physician's life, as per me. Um, so starting off with what internal medicine is and what would be the expectations, what are the services that you'll be covering, and coming to residency programs in US, how do they do it, what are the services they cover, and what does the schedule look like, right? So basically, schedule for a day depends on what services you will be on. Now, internal medicine is very vast. It covers almost all the subspecialties: rheumatology, endocrinology, nephrology, infectious disease, gastroenterology, cardiology. Basically, anything that you can think about, you can go under internal medicine and then subspecialize into further any specialties that you're interested in. But when you're doing a residency, you're basically covering um, in-service hospital kind of medicine, which is major, including ICUs, and also in terms of subspecialties, you'll be covering both inpatient and an outpatient experience. Now, some of these things do differ between the programs, between residency programs in US. So I'm just going to majorly talk about common programs and my program personally. Okay. So the services that we cover in my program is ICU, IMC, which is Intermediate Care Unit, floors, which we all generally know at the general wards, ACS, we have, so my hospital is kind of more specialized into cardiology, so they have an advanced cardiac service here. Other hospital is more specialized into neurology, so they have a whole neurocritical care unit there. So it kind of differs on what hospital you will be working at. And then, of course, we have some clinics. Clinics are basically the primary care clinics, so like how family medicine people do that. And then electives. Now, electives, as I mentioned, they are based on what you want to go into, and you can always schedule your elective based on your preferences and also the physician that you would like to work with. Whether in hospital, outside of hospital, doesn't matter. But if it's outside of the hospital, I think it now goes on you to schedule an elective, get everything set up, and then your hospital will basically just approve it. So in residency programs in US, we have something called X plus Y block. Okay. X means the in-service or inpatient services, and then the Y means the number of clinic blocks that you'll be having in between those services. So in my program, I'm 6+2 blocks. That means I will be doing 6 weeks of inpatient services and then 2 weeks of blocks, that's outpatient. So that 2 weeks of outpatient is basically my primary care clinic. Okay, more of like how primary care people do here in family medicine and everything. And you get to choose your 4 weeks of vacation break. And of course, you get a Christmas or New Year off, either one, not both. The 4 weeks of vacation breaks also varies between programs sometimes. But the good thing about it is that when do you want to take a break, you can decide. I mean, I know for my program, I decided for my 4 weeks of vacation when I wanted. But I'm sure they should have choices in other programs as well. I know a couple of my friends, they also have some choices in terms of taking the vacation as well. And then you get to choose selective rotation, as I mentioned. Some programs also more specific onto some things and some are not. So what do I mean by that is that if you go into university programs, they'll be more into didactics, they'll be more into research, if you're going into those kind of hospital programs. If you're going into community, you may reach out to more community outreach and global outreach kind of opportunities is what you will find, and also mentorship programs, wellness programs. Depending on every program, it has its own specialties, right? So over here, we are assigned a mentor whom we see almost every 3 months. Okay. Now that 3 month gap is basically is gonna discussion about your progress, how well you're doing, how is your feedback from your colleagues, from your mentors, from your attendings, from medical students, from other general nurses and everybody that you work with? So some people, we have a feedback, anonymous feedback kind of a thing in this program. Every program has something like that. Some places are anonymous, some are not. So based on those feedback, your session with the mentor is going to basically be like, where do you go from here? How would you progress? Or we have something called in training exam, as I'm just mentioning next point. That's what you take every year of your residency. You will be taking it as soon as you start residency, like 3 4 months, and then you discuss that also with your mentor, any particular areas that you're weak into. Then you start doing basically questions or start reading about it. Some people, some programs give you some reading materials to do them too, and then you progress from there. So the mentor kind of relationship is good for your progress during the residency. It will also keep you in track of how many case reports have you been doing, what else have you been involved into, if you're involved into any research. So it's kind of it kind of keeps a balance between everything that as per your interest, and it also helps you kind of navigate through the whole residency. Let's say if I'm interested into critical care after finishing my residency, then what electives would I be taking next year? This year, we don't have that much of freedom of scheduling our electives. We only have 2 weeks of elective, and from next year onwards, we get less service and more elective. Now, it depends. If you want more service, you can always ask for more service as well. So you can basically um, make or break your whole schedule in residency. And then, of course, at the end, you have to take the ABIM exam, right, which is the American Board of Internal Medicine.
Thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe for more.